Hello, hello, and welcome back to another live watch along for the Chris McPherson Show. Good to have those of you who are on nice and early joining us. And we are not far away from tip off here between Melbourne United and Tasmania. Hello, Nick. Hello, Ken. Good to have you both back. Turning into some regulars, lads. I like that. Thank you very much. Good to have you tuning in. And we are all but set for tip off here. Just waiting for the teams to be rocking and rolling. But it is game night. And it's a sellout in Melbourne, one of the open air games. So the venue they play at, it's also used for the Australian Open Grand Slam tennis, and they open the roof once a year for these games, and this is one of them. Melbourne up against Tasmania. I think the next one will be in a couple of days' time, maybe a week's time. It's one of the Southeast Melbourne games too, I think, from memory, that they'll do that for. So really exciting times, though. Something a little bit different for basketball here in Australia. But we have a big game coming up, Melbourne and Tasmania to close out round 13. Round 14 will get underway tomorrow night. Adelaide up against Cairns. Sucks their shell showed up. You going the upset again, Nick. You did well on Brisbane last night. I went back and looked at that afterwards too, Nick, and that actually was a good matchup for Brisbane. As much as they'd been in horrible form, that was the fourth time they played this season. They'd already beat them twice. They'd come back from deficits. They match up well on that team, and they just had to silence Menenga, which Harrison does really well, and he did well. Kept him out of the game. And once Menenga was quiet, New Zealand just couldn't get going. New Zealand definitely underperformed, which they took advantage of. But well done to the Bullets. Got the dub. And now they're within striking distance of Illawarra in front of them, and they're only a win behind New Zealand realistically. So, what a big result that is. A couple more wins if they can start showing some stuff under DMAC is it could be interesting. Yeah, Melbourne's an interesting one. Like they're really short favourites in this game, and again, like you want to talk about some value, like I don't mind it in terms of matchup spot for Tasmania. They'll get up for it up against their former star in Bryce Cotton. But it's just going to be interesting. CG43 will be back on deck. They're just really short, but Melbourne have been they've looked tired. I think it's fair to say. I think they've looked a little drained, a little lackluster in recent games. So it's excuse me. I seem to be yawning every time I'm on these streams. Maybe I need to get more sleep. Yeah. Well, the thing in this competition, Nick, any team at $3 is value almost, right? Like it's just um, one of those pieces. Like you give everyone a fighter's chance on any given night. So it is going to be interesting. But yeah, you look at Melbourne United, and yes, they beat Illawarra on Thursday night. I'm trying to think what night it is. It's Tuesday. These days blend into each other over this Christmas break. They did beat them, but before that, they'd lost to Sydney, Adelaide, Southeast Melbourne, and Perth back to back. 4 losses from their last 5. They did turn around a little bit against a pretty ordinary Illawarra, let's be honest. We watched that game. Hey, Ken, good to see you, mate. So I'll be intrigued to see where it goes. But yeah, I can certainly see the argument that, and I'm a big believer in, I don't think there's a way to get there and accurately say, hey, this is a sure thing or anything else, but it's about backing value. If you back value more often than not, that's how you win in the long run, right? So if we're going to say that Tassie's maybe 40, I'd say this is like a 60-40 game, really. Melbourne United are favourites, but 40% says, plus 350. They're plus 410 to use the American odds, or in the Aussie odds, $3.10. So yeah, like that's certainly how I'd be viewing this one. But again, Melbourne looked like they warmed up a little bit last Thursday night with that win over Illawarra, but Illawarra were pretty ordinary, 39% shooting. And yeah, just faded out in that last quarter. Got blown out 23-8 when the game was, what was it, 67-74? It was a 7-point game. So Melbourne will be without Shea Ili. That is one thing. But again, they knew that. He went off in that game, as we talked about. So it'd be interesting to see. NE, hello, mate. It's good to have you back. They're home and literally blast sound and shout into the stadium mic when they shoot free throws. Yeah, they do that. So, hey, you got to use your home court advantage. Astro, listening at the gym, getting after it leading into Christmas. I like that. I have to get in there early tomorrow, I think. It's going to be quite warm here. 30-degree Celsius temperatures. I think we've, had a couple of days last week. Up over 100, around 105. So you're going under 180 and over 180, round two. Yeah, here we go. I'm sure the conversation will be a little bit more positive tonight, hopefully. We'll see how we go. We enjoy some positive conversation, but let's have a look at the lineups. Let's have a run through those guys. Starting five for Tasmania: Bryce Hamilton, Nick Marshall, Tiger Campbell, the Tasmanian Tiger, the import, Will Magnay, their captain, and Josh Bannon. This is going to be a big matchup, Magnay versus Edwards. Really looking forward to that. Then the bench: Stoddart, Deng, David Johnson's back fit, Ben Eyre, Jacob Richards, and Archie Woodall. And then for Melbourne United, they have named a squad of about 14, I think. So Tyson Walker, Finn Delaney, Tanner Krebs, Jesse Edwards, and Milton Doyle will start. Campbell Blogg, Dash Daniels, Malith Mashar, Tom Wilson, Kyle Bowen, Fabian Kurzlovic, Tom Coppins, and Chris Golding. So as I said, Magnay versus Kurzlovic and Edwards is going to be an interesting matchup. When Edwards is on, that's when I like what Melbourne United can do. So let's see what they can fire with here. How much impact CG43 can have off the bench. Dash Daniels as well. And then David Johnson and Ben Eyre will be the keys coming off the pine for Tasmania. But we are almost ready to get started here. It is the open air game at John Cain Arena. So for any of you that are tennis fans, this is also one of the, it's kind of the third court, I think it is. Yeah, so you'll have Rod Laver Arena, Margaret Court Arena, and then John Cain Arena for the Australian Open tennis, which will happen in a few weeks' time. And it's normally open air for the tennis, and then it's a closed roof for most other sports, but they do an open air game once a year, so they've got the roof open. On the Aussie UFC events as well, yeah, look, it's not too bad. I'm not as au fait with the UFC, but certainly something I can have a look at, Astro. Hey, Josh, good to see you as Melbourne United get 2 points through Edwards. Bounce pass, nice work. Tassie get one straight back. The only game you found is in Arabic. Little pass underneath. Edwards up again. Back-to-back buckets for him. Now we've got Tiger Campbell working the lane. Drives in. Flicks it out for a three-point shot. Doesn't go. None of that Ken Stipend shooting happening. That looked like travel to me, but he's drawn a foul, has Finn Delaney. And I don't know, guys. I might sound old here, but the travel rule is just, they've forgotten about it. It doesn't exist anymore. Dear, dear. Delaney at the line. Minute 3 gone. He gets one. What other hoops do you guys get around outside of the NBL and the NBA? Is there anything else you watch in terms of basketball or have a bet on, have an interest in? Gets another. 6-2. Yeah, Astro. That's exactly what happened there. Like he just like strolled down like literally from the 3-point line to under the hoop and got a little bump on his arm as he missed the shot and they gave a foul and I was just like, that's wild. Tiger Campbell gets one back. Tiger Campbell, one of the best signings ever, just purely because the Tasmanian tiger is an extinct animal and he's playing for Tasmania and his name's Tiger. Should be more more teams that are invested in players, not because of their playing ability, but because of their names. Just makes sense for the club. Doyle for 3. Doesn't go. Rebound sits. Hamilton takes it. Hamilton, little mid-range jumper. Beautiful work. Levels up. 6 apiece. Tennis and American football. I don't know if you've seen, there's an Aussie guy from Melbourne, Astro, Cam Williams. And he's got a tennis channel where he does watch-alongs of the tennis all the time. He's got like 275,000 subscribers. It's wild, man. Wild. Really crazy. What do we think of the 49ers today getting it past the Colts? I'm pretty sure, Nick, you were all over the Colts telling us 49ers weren't going to win. Is my memory serve right from last night? Tassie, oh, that just spiraled out of the hoop. Yeah, like he covers all the ATP tour, heaps of stuff. I really like his stuff. It's pretty cool. It's, kind of sort of where the idea came from is Edwards gets fouled and he's going to go to the line, I think. Yes, he will. It's kind of where the idea of this came from. Lets me practice my commentary. Again, I do a bit of other commentary around at different points, as some of you know that have been tuning in for a little bit. Did some Gridiron New South Wales Grand Finals the other day, so trying to get into a bit of the American football and flag football as well. And then just, working through a bit of soccer, cricket. Did some cricket last week as well, so... definitely like Cam's stuff, Astro. He just seems a pretty knockabout dude as well. Pretty laconic. Oh, no, he's missed both the free throws. No, sorry, he gets a second. 7-6. 2 minutes, 35 gone here. Good to have you all tuning in. If you're one of the small handful of new people tuning in, make sure to give the video a like and hit subscribe. Bannon goes for 2. Doesn't get it. Rebound doesn't go either. Tasmania give a foul. 7-6, 7:07 on the clock. It's a hard one with doing some of this because you've kind of like got to find a sport where there's critical mass who don't have access to it really to make it make sense. Finn Delaney missed 3 and then Milton Doyle swats it out of bounds on the rebound. Tasmania ball inbound at the defensive end. That's the balance. You got to kind of find something that you're going to enjoy calling and not just calling it for the sake of trying to manufacture an audience, but also something where there's a bit of a need like there is with the NBL. It's worked out quite well. Better than I intended. It was just a little bit of fun to start with, so it's always good to get a couple of hundred people tuning in across the night. As Melbourne United get the stop. They drive into the lane. Krebs tries to get it. And we've got a foul on Edwards. Or by Edwards on Josh Bannon. In the defensive end, so they'll take the ball inbound at the baseline here. Tiger Campbell drives down court. Up against Walker. Magnay hands it off to Hamilton. Bannon now shovels it back around, driving to the hoop. Gets it done. 2 points going to Nick Marshall. Tasmania have the lead for the first time today. And he's going to go to the stripe. Oh, what have we done there? Eight, 7, 6:14 on the clock. New to the NBL and long-time NBA. Is the two leagues comparable as far as pace and talent? Hey, MA. Yeah. You're drying up the points. Yeah, that's it. The guy with the crazy hair is Tiger Campbell. He's cool, Nick. I like him. No, look, there's definitely a gap, but the best players in the NBL, probably the top handful, would go okay in the NBA. I think, we've had a few players go over and sort of be fringe. I would suggest a good NBL game is better than the G League, but it's definitely not NBA worthy. As Melbourne United get 2 more through Edwards. All tied up at 9s. 5:48 on the clock. The Jackjumpers play some exciting basketball. They're just, again, a bit like some of the other teams down the bottom, a little inconsistent. I also can't get over the fact that their coach looks like a bird. Like, just his side-on profile, Scott Roth. Looks like an eagle. Nose is like a real curled over beak. Anyway, this is the hot takes you've come here for. Tassie ball. Playing it around. Here's Campbell now. Yeah, I'd say so. Just the more developed bodies, probably similar skill sets to decent college ball. But again, like you've got some disparity in terms of the best players and the worst players, similar to what you see at college. Some of the teams, like the depth of the lower teams compared to the top teams, as Doyle misses a jumper. Tassie score. Magnay's got some space, doesn't want to use it. Gives it back to Campbell. 5:05 on the clock, 10 on the shot clock. Campbell, jumper just inside the free throw line, gets 2 back. For his side, they lead by 4, Tassie, midway through the first quarter. And what have we got here? Have we got... Thought we were going for a timeout, but no. Melbourne just taking a moment to get set. 4:59 on the clock. Bowen checks in. That's what was going on. We had some changes happening. Bowen checks in, as does Wilson. Kerslovic's out there too. Doyle and Krebs. Doyle flicks it wide. Kerslovic for 3. That doesn't go. That would have been surprising. He's not a renowned three-point shooter, Fabian Kerslovic. Tiger Campbell drives in, little spin, roll away, and it drops. Count the bucket and give him a shot. 15-9 with 1 to come. Siddle going to be balling until he's 70. Peter Siddle is getting old. That is a random reference point. But we've got the Stars game on at the same time in the Big Bash. He's getting better with age. I had a clip about that from one of our videos the other day doing Big Bash recap, MA. And yes, he is aging like a fine wine, Peter Siddle. That doesn't go either for Bowen. Tassie getting a bit of a jump on here. Nick, you're starting to, you're starting to get off to some good starts back to back. Hopefully they can continue on here. Now they drive into the lane. Bannon stopped by Kerslovic. Walker straight away on the fast break. Flicks it out. Bowen mishandles, gets the ball back, fires it wide. CG43, step in for 3. Doesn't go. Tiger Campbell gets the rebound. Good to have you all tuning in, guys. If it's your first time joining us, make sure to hit like on the video. Get involved in the comments. Everyone's pretty friendly usually. 1 or 2 exceptions here and there. We sort them out pretty quickly. Missed jumper. Oh, almost a bat in, but he absolutely slapped it into the backboard off the shot from Johnson originally. There we go. Milton Doyle drives through the traffic, gets 2. And he'll go to the line as well. A little foul on the way through. Dean Vickerman looking suitably unimpressed, the Melbourne United coach. 16-11, 3:42 on the clock in the first quarter. Slow start. Needed to turn up in the second. Yeah, Ken. Yeah. What did you took the overs? Over 180. He's a man that likes action, Ken. He likes the overs. Doyle gets one. That helps. So you want 180, you want 45 a quarter. You're at 28. Still 3.5 minutes to go, though. A few three-pointers might help. Johnson slings it wide. Marshall's there. A 1-2 with Bannon. Bannon goes to the hoop, gets a touch. That's goaltending. That'll be a bucket. 18-12. Milton Doyle takes it across half court. Bowen on the ball now. Walker thinks about the pull-up three-point shot. Doyle gets across, swings it wide. Walker's deep. Bowen, 7 on the shot clock, gives it back to Milton Doyle at the top of the three-point line. Drives into the lane, step back, doesn't get it. Finds the front of the rim. Marshall's on a quick breakaway. Shovels it off to Johnson. Johnson, step back, no. Decides better of it, gives it out. Ben Ayres out there now. Johnson again. 10 on the shot clock. They've got time. He's trying to find space against Kerslovic. Gets half a step. Tries the 3. Doesn't go. They're not helping you, Ken. They're not helping you. Oh, that doesn't help either. Walker just fires a pass absolutely to no one. It goes over the baseline. Well. Interesting times here. 18-12, Tasmania. Melbourne got out of the blocks the fastest for the first couple of minutes, but Tasmania got on a run. A 7-point scoring run, which set up their lead, and now they lead by 6. Jock Dang's out there now for Tassie. Nick Marshall. Archie Woodall's there as well. He gets the rebound. Goes again, gets 2 points. 20-12. Tassie chipping away here. Dash Daniels on the court. Haven't had a look at the latest in the mock drafts, but all roads are pointing to him being a potential top 10 pick. CG43 in the NBA draft next year, that is. CG43 does it all himself, but just misses the bucket. Majok Dang flicks it in. Kerslovic gets a touch. And it'll be Melbourne United ball. Good fortune rather than good management. 1:57 on the clock. Dean Vickerman pretty animated. CG43. Chris Golding takes a breather. Ben Eyre will have the inbound. Referee just with some instructions on the run. Now Eyre and Dang working it. Eyre drives down, pulls up, stop step short of halfway. 8-second violation on the backcourt. It took too long. Rookie stuff. Yeah, the Jackjumpers, now they've got everyone back. They had a lot of injuries early in the season, MA. That's what we were talking about with Nick when we first jumped on. Like, to be fair, pretty much any team in this league at, $3, unless it's, Cairns or Brisbane against a fully firing, probably Sydney or Adelaide at the moment. Got another foul here on Woodhill, maybe. Man with tattoos and a mullet. He's always going to be a prime candidate in the referee's eyes. Yeah, like $3 plus, or in the American parlance, 400 plus 400 and above. Big odds for anyone. Walker drives into the lane, flings it wide for Daniels. Oh, three-pointer. Pops up, bobbles and goes through. That's a good strike for Melbourne. Minute 27 on the clock. Johnson, little hit spin, mid-range jumper. Takes it back to 7 points. And Melbourne getting it done. Walker gets a couple and he'll go to the line. No. Picks that up. There we go. He's at the line for 2, sorry. I waved the shot off. Now the second. Gets 2 from 2. They could have given some free throw lessons to New Zealand from last night. 5-point ball game, a minute 6 on the clock. If you get another 2 buckets here, you're not in a bad spot. Dang looking for a 3-pointer, but they're straight away in his grill. He gets it off, hands off now for Johnson, who's working it in the paint, has it stolen. That's some nice basketball by Delaney. Little flick, no look pass back to Walker. 3-point ball game. There's 41. You're almost at your 45. They fling it wide. A foul called on Melbourne United. They're not happy with it. (22:19), 35.5 seconds on the clock. It is Ken. They're starting to get a little bit fired up. Starting to get moving. To be fair, Melbourne United shooting's not helping. They're at 37.5%. Oh dear, David Johnson just threw that and nearly went to another player. And then he's been called for a foul in trying to regather the ball. 22:19, 30.4 seconds on the clock. 6.5 second differential between game clock and shot clock. I feel like he's been hard done by there. But nonetheless, the referee's made his decision. Walker fires it across. Delaney. Krebs in for Edwards. Delaney close in, gets it. Turned over, 15 seconds on the clock. Dang goes down for Johnson. Eyre. They're making it hard for you, Ken. Eyre dribbles into the paint. Contest, contact, ball goes down. Melbourne United going the other way. Krebs gives a shove. And we're going to have a foul. Against Melbourne United. For a push. Yeah, look, there's every chance they come back. They're starting to look good, but they're just shooting poorly. They're shooting at 37%. Austin, good to have you, mate. So, yeah, look, they're a chance, but Tassie are playing some good basketball. They've gone a little bit cold in the last 60 seconds here, but good to have those of you who are just jumping on. Love it if you gave the video a like. Get involved in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from, what you're wagering on, who you're backing. They're going to have to get a half-court shot away here, a three-quarter shot. That was not even close. So 22-19, Tasmania lead at quarter time. The shooting should level out for Melbourne, I suspect. Yeah, well, we thought it would level out the other way last night for Cairns, didn't we? But for Brisbane, sorry, not Cairns. Cairns was the Friday night for Brisbane last night, and they just kept on that tear really. So, but yeah, certainly you would think that the Melbourne will, being the class outfit they are, they'll get back to at least a little higher. Although their 3-point shooting's been a real problem for them, Astro. There was a game, I think it was the game they lost to Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and they shot something like 2 from 34 or something. It was some ridiculous. Maybe it wasn't that high. 2 from 24. But yeah, it was in the teens of percentages. So something to watch there. Their 3-point shooting, not their strength. They've got a couple of guys who can get a hot hand, but not their strength. So certainly game on though at 22-19. They are 6 from 16. Tasmania 10 from 18. So yeah, I think I'm kind of just spitballing that off the top of my head. I'll tell you what the number was actually. Melbourne United, Sydney Kings. There it is, December 14th. Just wait for it to load because it's epically slow. Actually, it was worse than that. It was 1 from 28. 3.57%. 1 from 28 for 3. So, yeah, they shot, thank goodness for them, they shot 30 from 41 from the rest of the field to keep them in the contest. But 1 from 28 for 3. Chris Golding was none from 8. Milton Doyle was 1 from 9. So there's 1 from 17 between those two alone. So that is, yeah, Austin, that is wild. I can't believe a professional basketball team could shoot 3.57% from 3. To put it in perspective, Sydney the same day shot 13 from 36. Yeah, look, most of those kids probably shouldn't be playing basketball beyond their college career. That might just be the end for them, I think. Sometimes just to know your limitations. So, interestingly, if Melbourne lose this game, they will drop to 3rd on the ladder. For Tasmania, it just helps secure them into 6 if they can get a win. So, as the ladder stands live, Melbourne would slip behind Southeast Melbourne into 3rd, which, considering this team sat 9-0, if this result was to stand, it would finish, they'd be 14-7, so they would have lost 7 of their last 12. So, yeah, a little bit to do here for Melbourne, and we're back underway. Second quarter starting. Tassie, Tiger Campbell for 3. Doesn't quite go. Swatted back. That's well played. Johnson for a back 3. Doesn't go either. Magnay getting up, but Edwards wins it. So a couple of missed 3s for Tassie there. Melbourne United now with Walker. 30 seconds gone in the second quarter. Walker working into some traffic, trying to use the screen from Edwards. Swings it wide. Bowen was open. Decides to lay back for Doyle. Yeah, the roller coasters are. I can't remember the league being like this. It's always had a few of them, but not to this. Yeah, every game's kind of, as we talked about last night, you can lead by double digits at three-quarter time, and it's still up in the air. So Johnson for 3. Tasmania have started with 3 misses from 3 points to start this quarter. They heard us talking about that shooting. Make that 4 misses from 3 points as Hamilton misses 1. And we've got a foul on a player off the ball, so the Tasmania ball inbound on the baseline. Now, Hamilton driving into the lane, gets some points finally for Tassie to start the quarter. Melbourne straight away get 2 back through Bowen. 24-21, a minute and a half gone in this second quarter. Magnay tries to bounce past it in, and he bounced it into a Melbourne United player. Come off their boot in the end, so a foot violation, and we'll get the ball back in play. Tiger Campbell lays it off, back to Magnay, sweeps around him to grab it. Fires it off, Magnay a little stretch to handle it, and draws a foul. That'll be a shooting foul, I would think. Good to have you all tuning in. If you're new to our channel, would love it if you hit like on the video, get involved in the comments, and if you're enjoying it, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification, keep you up to date with when we're dropping videos, when we're going live. There'll be a few days off after this one, but we will be back before the end of the new year, before the end of this year, not the new year, definitely before the end of the new year, as Will Magnay gets a bucket. We'll have 1 or 2 more to close out the new year. Milton Doyle goes up, doesn't drop. Works well for Tassie. Tiger Campbell looking for the fast break. He's got Johnson with him. Decides not to use him. Has to lay it all the way back to Magnay. Campbell pulls out of the 3-point arc. 7:33 on the clock. 26-21. Tassie lead. Lobs it up for Magnay. Magnay trying to get over the top of Edwards. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. 26-21. 7:28 on the clock. See if this one goes down to the wire again. We've had so many of them, as Astro said, going down to the wire, close games. Never a dull moment in the Australian NBL. Interesting random stat. The Jackjumpers have the worst free throw shooting in the NBL. They shoot at 70%. And right on cue, Will Magnay literally hits the ball square on the front of the rim. Melbourne United fans looking for free burgers. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, free burgers from Hungry Jacks if someone from the away team misses back-to-back free throws. Hey, crack. Yeah, well, it's looking like that way. We talked early before the game about this and the fact that they were value. And tell you what, Nick's punting is looking pretty good over the last few games that we've called. Melbourne United miss another one. So between these two teams, they're currently 1 from 12 from 3-point range. Tasmania are none from 6. There's Marshall, little fadeaway jumper, gets the 2. Nick, you're killing it. Keep it up. Timeout, Melbourne United. That's surprising. I wouldn't have thought. It's an absolutely packed arena at John Cain tonight. Home court for Melbourne United. As I was explaining before, it's also one of the main courts for the Australian Open tennis. It's all part of the complex there. So it's got about a 10,500 capacity, so not a bad turnout. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this second quarter. And Ken, you're needing some points, my friend. Hopefully they finish with a flurry in this quarter as well. Like I said, it'd be interesting to go back and have a look at the odds throughout the season to see how many games where a team was, $3 or more. which both these teams have been. And, yeah, like that would certainly be an interesting one, that's for sure. Because as we say, it is a bit of a roller coaster league. Let's have a quick look over the last couple of weeks, and to be fair, it doesn't pay out that often. So there's been one. This will be the 5th one in the last 4 days, and only 2 of them have won. So 3 points. There we go. Finn Delaney gets a 3-pointer. 24-29. Nick Marshall tries to lob one over the top, leaves it short, but draws the foul. Yeah, so if this one gets up, that'll be... You'll get 2 shots there. That's a nice, easy one against Edwards. Hey, Hagen, good to have you back. Both free throws go down. Over the last 2 months, teams $3 or more are 3 from 14, so you wouldn't quite make a profit on it. As Melbourne United get another 3, they've gone back to back. All of a sudden, they've found their 3-point shooting range. Tasmania, 4-point margin with under 6 on the clock. Tiger Campbell's your man, Nick. Hey, Hez, you're on the Jackjumpers too. Every underdog team. There you go. I'd have to go back and do the maths on exactly what that looks like. And I suppose it depends how you're staking it too, Nick. You've 10x your money, like your initial start this year. That's not bad. It's a bit like T20 cricket. I have a theory in T20 cricket if you're betting live as well, that pretty much take the outsider before the toss, and more often than not, you can hedge in a nice little profit by betting back live. So Chris Golding at the line for Melbourne United here, 5:43 on the clock. And jinx it, Hagen. 3-point ball game, 5:43. It's a very soft foul, that one. Scott Roth now looking like an angry bird, not just a bird. Good to have you all tuning in. If it's your first time joining us, hit like. Get involved in the comments. Even give us a subscribe if you feel like it. Tell you what I do like. Scott Roth is having a bit of fun with the courtside crowd. He's busting some jokes, the Tasmania coach. That's what we want to see. Give them their money's worth. Milton Doyle inbound. Tyson Walker. Chris Golding for 3. Going to say, sure, they don't go 3 from 3 in a row on 3s now. Now, Hamilton fires it in. Back with Nick's man, Tiger Campbell. Little crossover up against Walker. He's crossing it back and forth, trying to tangle him up. Gets the spin away. Tries to get inside him. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2, Tiger. 5:17 on the clock before half time. Don't be shy, guys. Get involved in the comments. Good to see a heap of you coming back for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th appearances. Loving having the regulars. And I really hope that you guys are going to have an absolutely cracking Christmas. As I said, having a couple of days off the streams. There'll still be some content dropping. Not so much around the basketball. Hasn't been, wasn't a whole lot of engagement when I was doing some basketball content. So I might have a look at a different viewpoint from it in the new year. Maybe some predictions and stuff. We might have a look at that. I mean, let me know what sort of content would you guys engage with or like to have a look at for the NBL? Assuming more from the conversation previews and stuff. Maybe a couple of minute preview just on the game and thoughts. Might have to get Nick to do it. He's killing the betting. Delaney with a little spin. Spins back to the inside. Leaves it short. Swatted away. Hamilton left it short. Managed to get his own rebound. Hustles after it. Ball in contest. Golding comes away with it for Melbourne United. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just like a little, just maybe not all games, a bit like I do with the live watch-alongs. That's a foul against Delaney, an offensive foul. He wants to challenge it. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, he's just dropped the shoulder. Marshall was set. That is, yeah. He's only got mounted by Deng from behind afterwards, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, little previews. I'm not sure if I'd specifically do them about bet predictions, but game previews and stuff. Nick might be all right. I'll give it a go. How about that? There we go. We'll have a look in the new year. I'll try and do a couple. Just get some thoughts together, some stat lines, different stuff, some stuff that look. I'm not going to tell you how to invest or spend your money, but I can give you some thoughts on how I think the game might play out. And Nick can tell me why I'm wrong. Let's back all the outsiders, Nick. That's what I'll tell him. That sounds like the plan. Every game's going to be an upset. It's all about how you pitch it. It depends who you're telling the story to. If you've got to explain, to the other half, the wife, the partner, the Minister of War and Finance, whatever it might be, as to what you're doing, it's an investment. Some people are good at investing. Some people are bad at investing. For some people, betting on sports is probably safer than putting money in crypto, to be fair. Put it in the wrong ones, doesn't go so well. Don't do your research, probably doesn't go so well, and you're just guessing. I mean, there's hedge funds based on sports betting now, only a couple of them, but I would say, yeah, it'd be somewhere between AA and AAA if you had the equivalent. So obviously the NBA, Hagen, you got the G League. The NBL would be, I would think it's a little bit better than the G League. A few more seasoned players, those sorts of things, because you don't tend to get the seasoned players there. They'll go to Europe. I would say the NBL is probably, like the NBA is definitely by far the best league in the world by some distance. But I would say the NBL is not too far away after that. There's, a couple of the European leagues are very good. Like the NBL might be right behind the actual whole top tier Euro league, but it'd be better than most of the national leagues. NBL's greater than the NBA. Yeah. Tiger Campbell versus Wemby. We'll take Tiger every day, Nick. Hamilton's just given away just a really silly foul. I got tangled up with Dash Daniels. Kerslovic goes to the hoop, doesn't get it, but gets the foul. 4:19 on the clock. Australian American football, Nick. I hadn't watched a lot of it, but I commentated. So essentially, as I understand it, the Australian American football's all played in state leagues. Tony, NBL is arse. Well, maybe compared to the NBA, but it's still pretty decent. But yeah, Nick, it's I commentated the Gridiron New South Wales Grand Finals a week and a half ago, 14th, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's some bizarre thing. I commentated some flag football and some tackle, so the men's and the Colts. And in none of the games did anyone kick a field goal nor take the point after attempt. They just went for 2-pointers. It's like there's no field goal kickers in Gridiron New South Wales. It's just bizarre. That said, most of the time they converted the 2-point conversions. So yeah, but teams would go for it on 4th and 8 as well. It was bizarre having grown up watching so much NFL. As Tasmania now at the line. Josh Bannon. So yeah, it's a little bit wild. I haven't looked at a heap of other states, but yeah, certainly enjoyed doing that. Standard. Yeah, correct. Yes, go and get a soccer team or something. But like I said, in the men's grand final, the team that won had 8 touchdowns and they converted everyone with a 2-point conversion. I'm going to say it was 80+% 2-point conversions. Bannon gets his second. So Yeah, it was pretty wild. I was very confused. And like every time we'd get excited, we're like, surely they're going to bring out the field goal now. Surely they're going to bring out the kicker. Bring out the kicker. No, they're going for a 2-pointer again. No, the backup quarterback's going to take it. So Golding, it's a miss. They get a rebound. They get another rebound. They get another rebound. And eventually Bowen gets it in, and we've got a man down. Did it the wrong way, guys. That'll be 32 now. There we go. 2-point ball game. Majok Dang is down and not moving. 34-32, 3:48 on the clock. I don't want to rub salt into the wound for you, but Ken, it's not looking good. Nick, your unders. What are you getting pissed about? Tasmania giving it up? Yeah. It's like I can read your mind, Nick. 34-32. Good to have you all tuning in, guys. Get involved in the comments. I'd love it to be a multiple person conversation, not just Nick and I having a yarn. But hey, always enjoy chatting hoops and things with Nick. Bannon. Hamilton for a 3. Doesn't go. That was wasteful. Kurzlovic gets a pass away. Finds Dash Daniels. He has to flick it over the top. Turns it over. Goes straight to Ben Air. Can't get it to go. They get the rebound. And Bannon gets 2. There we go. That helps. Oh, we're going to say the bucket. They're going to wave it away. Let's have a look. Ben Air. Just going to have a look here. What have we done? No, the bucket counted. Just really slow to put it on the scoreboard on the stream. Walker now. 3:13 on the clock. Till half time. Shape for 3-point. That's a nice play. Kurzlovic gets absolutely manhandled by Majok Dang. He's probably giving away 15 kilos in weight there. Crack here on United. Oh, they're right in this. Well, I mean, we haven't seen as many wild swings in this game. A few ebbs and flows. Big 3-pointer for Tassie. Tassie now 0 from 8 from 3-point range. They're really chasing that number we were talking about before. We're going to have a foul here. Defensive foul on Marshall, I think. Let's just have a look. He's going to say he was set. I'll tell you what, I think he's set. I think it's going to be on Walker. Yeah, it is. Offensive foul. That doesn't help United scores, Crack. Tassie ball inbound on their own sideline, defensive third. The Ben Errol inbound. He's got Nick Marshall there. Marshall, easy to call and spot. Got one leg skin on. Just on his left leg. He's wearing long skins. Now we've got a foul on Tanner Krebs. Some weird fouls going on in back play here. There's something going on. Been a few off the ball pushing fouls. Very unusual, the amount of them, but that's going to send Hamilton to the line. Your man, Nick, is into double digits. The only player on the court in double digits so far, Tiger Campbell. Hamilton gets the first one. 37-32. Don't be shy, guy. Get involved, guys. Get involved in the comments, guys and girls. 38-32. Two and a half minutes. Now we've got a tech foul on the Tassie bench, I think. Well, that'll be a tech foul on the bench, not on Scott Roth. Milton Doyle to the line. Oh, it wasn't pretty, but it went in. 5-point ball game. So, Austin, you're on United for the first half. Yeah, right, Nick. There you go. I just love his hair and his character, and like I said, the Tasmanian tiger. Like, it's kind of a cool thing. He seems like he's good value. Like I like some of these imports that got a bit of personality. Admiral Schofield's another one. I mean, and again, just cool names, right? Just American names are a little bit different. I think it's somewhere in between those, Astro. Like, there's just a little bits of nudge and niggle, but nothing outrageous as Walker goes for 3 and drains it. Nothing but net. 2-point ball game with 2:14 on the clock. It looks like his hair's as stiff as a board, Nick. I think he's just got, like he's got the salt spray going on in it or something. Like, it's pretty wild. Ben Air, a little jumper. Gets it back. 4-point game. Tassie lead. Little flurry. Bowen gives it to Doyle. Doyle drives into the paint, spins around, under pressure, fires it out. Bowen thinks about a 3, drives it in again. Kerslovic flicks it off after he gets the ball. Walker, big 3, doesn't get it. Hamilton pulls up millimetres inside the baseline. They drive it down. 1:30 on the clock. Deng calling for it. That's where it swung. Gives it off to Marshall. 10 on the shot clock. Marshall fakes the air, drives into the paint, swings it wide for Dang. His 3-point attempt is blocked by Bowen. Doyle pops it back up to Bowen, who goes away with it. Walker drives all the way in, fires it back out. Doyle, Kerslovic for a deep 3. Again, not his forte. Bowen gets a hand to it, swats it back. Doyle, open 3, is his forte. 1-point ball game, a minute on the clock. Wow, this is a little bit of a flurry of action late in this quarter and 79 points. Again, they're teasing you, Ken, if you're still tuned in. Yeah, Nick, I can only imagine how you're feeling at the moment. Looks like we've got a timeout. I'm going to assume that's a Tassie timeout. It would be. 40:39, 1:02 on the clock to be exact. Walker now into double digits as well. So, one from 7 for 3, and they've now since then gone 4 from 6, so they're 5 from 13. And meanwhile, Tasmania are none from 8 from 3-point range. Second half plus 6.5 mark, you're back. Are you just tricking us today, or that's the serious bet? $40.39, 1:02 on the clock. No, look, wait and see. They're saying the current temperature in Melbourne is 16 because they've got the open air. The roof's open. It feels like 13.6. That's fresh. Jackjumpers plus 6.5 for the second half. Fair enough. They have to give up much juice for that because I think the pre-game line was 7.5. Melbourne money line with the LG Sakers. Bit of KBL. Oh, look, I mean, as much as we'd all like easy money, it keeps it entertaining. 40-39. Will Magnay's at the line, not known for his free throw shooting. 50.3 seconds on the clock. Magnay gets his first, makes a mockery of me saying that he can't shoot free throws. Not like a commentator's curse to be proven wrong. Apparently got fireworks display at halftime. Lucky they got the roof open. That'd be dangerous with the roof closed. Doesn't get his second. Spits away, and then it's taken out of bounds by Melbourne United. 41-39, 48.4 on the clock. What time's the LG Sakers game, Astro? How far away is that? Maybe I'll start covering the KBL. No, I have no idea what's going on there. Now Tassie, Hamilton into the lane. A little jumper, just gets a tip on it. Golding does well. And then Melbourne lose the ball over the baseline, 37.3. Here we go now. Hamilton, 25 on the clock. Little mid-range jumper. Doesn't go. Bannon gets the rebound. And then he's fouled. Bowen trying to reach in and steal at 18.8 on the clock. 41-39. Depends what time of year you're coming, Nick. That it would be a big thing. if you've got 14 days, you're going to be pretty limited. So you probably, if you're going to do New Zealand as well, you want to do East Coast. And depends what you want to get in. If you want to get some sport and stuff in, well, Melbourne and Sydney, brilliant. If you're coming in the cooler months, then you want to go to, start to head up through Queensland and check out Brisbane, the Gold Coast, some of the touristy bits there. And also whether you want to drive or fly through some of the places. But look, I would say, Sydney's a good place to base yourself out. Spend some time in Sydney, get over to Auckland as well if you're going to do both. Look, I could give you enough things to fill in 14 weeks, let alone 14 days. But yeah, check out, the iconic stuff in Sydney. Come and see the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House, some of the beaches. Head up here to Newcastle, man. The beaches here, I'm a little bit biased. I'm going to time out here after Tassie get their free throw. One of the two free throws, 18.8 on the clock. Yeah, there's some cool stuff there. Head out to the Blue Mountains. It's really beautiful if you like a little bit of hiking, waterfalls, those sorts of things. But there's some wonderful stuff just in general. So 14 days in Australia, yeah. If you come out that sort of October, November window, yeah, that is some wise stuff. Then you get sort of the back end of the got to fight a kangaroo. I wouldn't recommend that, Hagen. They are big, mean things. And then sometimes they're just really gentle, sweet-natured things until they're not. But they're not as prevalent as you might think over here. I think people try and create the story that they're just running down the street. Well, occasionally they do in some of the newer estates where they've been built, what was used to be bushland. But yeah, there's a list of things. But yeah, if you start in Sydney, there's some good good vineyards as well. It just depends what you're into. Yeah, not quite 7, but yeah, 6 foot tall, and they're big, muscly bastards too. Especially the big reds, they're cranky. If they feel provoked, the greys are kind of happy to head their own way, keep out of it. But yeah, there's some cool stuff. You keep yourself busy for 14 days in Sydney. Yeah, claws, muscles. But again, just give them a bit of space. You go to some of the zoos and wildlife parks and stuff. You can feed them and things. They're a bit more chilled out. Melbourne United get a touch on that as it goes across the baseline. I think it's going to be Tassie ball. Chris Golding wants the coach to challenge with 5.3 seconds on the clock. Chris Golding's walking off, so I'm going to assume they're doing a coach's challenge. No, they've ignored him. I said CG43, sit down. 5.3 on the clock. Tassie looking for the last bucket of the half. Don't get it. I'll fire a shot. Oh, that wasn't bad from three-quarter court. Yeah, over is in a bit of trouble. There were some runs in the middle of that quarter. I thought, geez, they're gonna chip this down, but I don't think there was any points for the last minute and a bit. 42-39 at the half. 42-39. Let's run through the points. Let's start with the visitors. Jackjumpers. They're led by as much as 8. Their biggest scoring run of 7. Tiger Campbell leads all scorers. He's got 11 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Nick Marshall, 9 points, 2 rebounds and an assist. Josh Bannon, 6 points, 6 rebounds and an assist. And Bryce Hamilton, 6 points, 2 rebounds and an assist. So that's the leaders there. Yeah, he popped back in just before. Marco was around. Then for Melbourne United, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals as well. That's good numbers from Walker. Jesse Edwards, 7 points. He had those in about the first 5 minutes. We haven't seen a lot of him in the second quarter. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. That's just a spattering. Milton Doyle, 7 points as well. 1 rebound, no assists. So, anyone heard of Prize Picks? Can't say I know anything about them, Crack, but maybe some of the other guys do. But that's about it. Melbourne United shooting at 35%, both from field goals and from the 3-point line after that quarter. They had a blinder in that quarter. I think they shot 4 from 7 from 3 points. Tassie still yet to hit a 3-pointer, none from 8. Both sides okay from the free throw line, 12 from 16 for Tassie. Could be a little better, 75%, better than their season average. 10 from 11 for Melbourne United. So there we go. But that's what we've got. I'm going to take a break, guys. There's some fireworks going off here, but at halftime, 42-39, the Jackies lead. Nick's got a little sniff here. But, yeah, we'll be back in probably about 9 or 10 minutes, guys. So I will chat to you then. Keep yourselves a company amongst the chat. at half time, and we'll be back shortly. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, throw a like on the video and hit subscribe. Hello, we're back. Third quarter just about to get underway. It is underway. Straight back into it. Yeah, the defence is certainly a lot better in this one, Ken. Yeah, Nick, exactly. Yeah, no good for Tassie, the first bucket of the half. Hey, Stone Alive. Because the reason Tassie are not going for 3 pointers is that 0 from 8 for 3 pointers, I'd say. Yeah, I think Nick's just Nick's the group whale at the moment, Austin. That's what we're calling it, if that's what you want to say. Magnay for 3, and that's why they're not. There's another one. Minute gone, no points in the third quarter, second half. Edwards backs in. Oh dear, open layup. Tried to dunk it, overcooked it, doesn't score. No mistake at the other end for Magnay. 44-39. Melbourne United swing it out wide. Doyle's deep. Edwards lays off. Krebs is there, tries to drive into the paint. A little bit of a fumble, steps back for 3. No, Edwards in the lane, and they get 2. 44-41. A minute 45 gone in the third quarter. Good to have you all tuning in. If you haven't already, love it if you gave the video a like. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Magnay driving the lane, draws the foul. I'm going to say he's in the lane. Are they going to call it a shooting foul? Looks like they might be. They will do. Magnay at the line. Misses one. Edwards has got 4 fouls now. Delaney's got 3 as well. So they've got some foul issues to sort out. It's big here for Magnay in the battle of the bigs. He gets a free throw. Second of them. No free burgers just yet. Delaney for Krebs. Krebs back for Walker. Walker step back for 3. Doesn't go. Wasn't far away. Batted out of bounds by Doyle, trying to stop the lob pass from Tiger Campbell. 7:38 on the clock. 45-41. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Campbell, flick for Hamilton for 3, and they finally get one, Tassie. 48-41. And that is a timeout for Melbourne United. Nick, how's the ride? How's the ride, Nick? $7:30 on the clock. 48-41. It's real for now. Now 1 from 10 from the 3-point line, Tasmania. They were due. None from 9. I just realised that looks quite questionable where my arm is, but I've got my dog in here. She's a little unwell, so just trying to pay her some attention while we're going here. $48-41. Walker gets a touch on that. That's out of bounds, is it? No, we've got a foul. Ben, how are you? Inbound pass, Doyle racing away, fires it quickly. Melbourne United trying to get the quick break. They don't get the rebound though. That falls for Bannon. Magnay just trying to drive in. Kurzlovic with the work with Edwards on 4 fouls. Bannon over the Magnay over the top, couldn't get it to go. Delaney with the rebound, goes all himself. Doesn't get it. Magnay gets a rebound. Now Marshall, floater, air ball. Delaney, the shooting percentages are going down by the moment. Marshall's been called for a foul, didn't get set in the screen. For the block, sorry. He gets set on the block. 48-41. Melbourne will go to the line through Finn Delaney for 2 shots. Delaney lining up his first. And gets it home. Popped up off the front of the rim. Oh, wrong side. Let's get the scoreboard happening right. 48-42. (48-43) gets his second. Tasmania go down court through Campbell. He's driving, doing it all himself. Gets up for a little jumper and drops it. Cleaned up his teammate. What are we going to say here? They're going to say count the bucket and 1. Friendly fire left, right and centre. 7-point game, 6:25 on the clock. Inbound at the baseline, Campbell. Hamilton thinks about a 3. Okay, it probably depends what the odds are. That would be my my biggest question at this point. 2 points for Tassie, 9-point lead, their biggest of the game. There's a couple of boys on Tassie actually. Big bet. Get the stop. Hey Pedro, good to have you on board. Yeah, betting Melbourne would be. Depends what the price is at the moment, Nick. If you get a long enough price. Where's the live price? Let's have a look here while that's going on. Tasmania go in. They draw a foul. They're going to go to the line. Live betting. Basketball. Yeah, Melbourne United at $3. Probably not quite enough value for mine when they're 9 points down halfway through the third. I thought if I might have been able to get sort of 350 to 4. Got 900 on Taz at plus 130. Is that in the run, Hagen? I think they were plus. About plus. I said it wrong before. They were plus 208, I think. Get the first free throw. Bannon again at the line. It'll take him to 8 points. He's got 9 rebounds as well. They lead by 11. Starting to stretch out here. There you go. Melbourne United at 375 now. Yeah, I hate it when that happens, Hagen. 3-point shot for Golding. Doesn't go. Magnay another rebound. He's up to 6 now. Hamilton. Tyke Campbell. Magne crashing in. Comes off the side of the backboard. Goes again. Leaves it short. Kerslovic the rebound. Doyle races away into the final 5 of the third quarter. Good to have you joining us and tuning in. Plenty of points in the early in that LG Sakers game. Astro. It's going to be Tassie ball inbound on the side. MA, you still floating around? How's that big bash going, my friend? Melbourne Stars off to a fly by the look of it in their chase. Bannon in. Nice little mid-range. Just pops it over the top. Lobs it in. 56-43. It's starting to blow out now. Those odds will be drifting pretty quickly. Yep, they're out to 550 now. So plus 450. Melbourne United leave it short. Another missed 2-pointer. Good to have you all tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from. Another bucket, Tassie. Dear, oh dear. They are putting the cleaners through them at the moment. 15-point lead. New York, Austin. Pedro watching from Denver. Surely it's past your bedtime. I was going to say it'd be late there. But I'm guessing it's early. Nearly 3:30 in the morning. Somewhere around there. 2:30, 3:30. Good to have you all tuning in, guys. Always good to know where you're tuning in from. If you haven't already, hit like or subscribe. Downtown Arkansas, Hagen. Seattle, Washington, Kale. Plenty of Americans on. A lot of Americans. Had a few people watching from Asia in recent days and weeks as well. It's always good. Milton Doyle. Nick's from Seattle. Doyle doesn't get it to go. Hamilton pulls up. North Seattle. Former Supersonics territory, Nick. WNBA now, no NBA. Texas, hey David. Bryce Hamilton's going to go to the line here to further extend this lead. This is just blowing out. Hamilton gets the first one. 16-4 this quarter. You needed Melbourne United to go on that run if you wanted something back, guys, but was sad. I used to love the Supersonics when I was growing up. They were kind of a team I enjoyed watching when I was first into my NBA. I'm still a Heat fan, but as Hamilton gets his second. What a time to be alive, Nick. That would have been watching Ray Allen draining threes. Now you just got the Seahawks. They're going pretty well, though. You'll never bet on Australian soccer again. What Australian soccer have you been betting on? Because this is a wild, wild roller coaster of an up and down league that is very unpredictable. Pedro is the short answer. Always do a little bit of research. As I said before, I'm going to try and have a crack at doing some little previews in the new year for some of these games as we have a timeout for Melbourne, and Dean Vickerman is trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But to give you, Melbourne ended in a tie. That would have been a women's game, David. I think. Or was it the men's Melbourne City versus MacArthur? Melbourne City versus MacArthur. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Hard on those two teams. They both played on the weekend. They both got to play again this weekend. They've been very busy schedules. I think they play each other again in about 4 weeks' time. Yeah, it was a double header there today. They had a women's game and then a men's game. Yeah, I have a bit to do with the soccer here. I actually do a podcast on our local side that you can find if you scroll down to my collaborations down the bottom of my channel with a young guy here on the Newcastle Jets that playing that competition. So if you're interested in it, Omar, David, Jumper's about to get you. Well, good having you all with us. If you're just joining us for the first time, love it if you gave the video a like and hit subscribe. Trying to get to 600. We were trying to get to 600 by the first week in January, but we might try and punch that along. All good, man. I love doing it. So we don't do all the games. We try and do a few of the midweek ones where we can. Eventually, I'd like to do all of the games and some more. Oh, Bryce Hamilton with a three-pointer. This is just salt into the wounds here. Too easy, Carl. Thanks for jumping in, man. Enjoy doing it, guys, and thank you for keeping me company in the comments. Good way to spend I keep forgetting what date is. This Christmas window just really throws me out. Good way to spend my Tuesday evening. As I said, I'll be out of action for a few days. Hopefully back on the 30th. So for a next live watch along. Cashed out, Nick. Not bad. Not bad. Did you get the full slate? You get your full odds on the cash out? And at 20 points up, they should be basically paying the bet at this point. 225 to go in the third. Milton Doyle trying to spin through everyone, just lose the ball. 99%, that's pretty good money. Hamilton for another 3. Doesn't go, but Bannon almost got the contest here. Bannon's already saying challenge it, and they haven't even made a decision yet. This league is fucking insane. That is exactly right. It's what keeps it exciting. Yeah, well, we saw a couple of best sides go toe-to-toe. I keep talking about this on Sydney and Adelaide. No other Aussie games tonight. There'll be another one tomorrow. Obviously, there's a bit of, and I know a few of the guys are into it, the KBL and some of that sort of stuff, so the Korean basketball. But again, I wouldn't be confident in giving you too much guidance on that. As Dash Daniels gets a three-pointer back for Melbourne. Is this the comeback, Nick? Turned over by Johnson. Going to say an offensive foul. No, going to say tech foul. Delay a game warning. Why not? Why not? Hopefully you got a good price on it. Trying to have a look at what it is at the moment. $12 at the moment. Or $17. $17. Plus 1,800. Plus 1,600. Plus 1,600. I'm putting the 100 on the wrong side. Minute 25 to go in the third quarter. $63.47. Tasmania possession at a minute 12 on the clock here till three-quarter time. Bannon driving into the paint. Daniels does well, gets a steal. Nice little pass. Daniels will go to the hoop. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed the layup. Open 2. Hey, Bustler, you'd be a happy man. Hobart, hometown of the Tassie Jackjumpers. In my State Bank Arena. Ben Eyre getting up and getting down for 2. 47.65, 36 on the clock. As I was saying before, actually, no, there's only some Chinese basketball coming up in about an hour. Big Betvel. 3 points for Golding. No, doesn't go. And it's taken out of bounds, is it, by Tassie? So, yeah, it looks like there's some Chinese basketball, a heap of Chinese basketball coming up tonight or in the next hour or so. Free throws going in for Melbourne. 48-65. I tell you what, that 180, Ken, that's going to get blown out of the water, the unders. What are we at now? 113. Oh, second one missed. You're going for three, though. Hey, Harry, we're just talking about you in our podcast. And a few guys talking about they bet on the Macarthur Melbourne City game earlier on today. Third one's missed, and Hamilton gets the Jacksonville, Florida. I can't say for legal reasons. Good to see you back. The Jags. Trevor Lawrence, is he the real deal? They're playing like it. Yeah, Harry, I was just giving it a plug. So, Flight Deck Newey for any of the guys that want to have a little wager on the A-League. We talk about the Newcastle teams. 4.3 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. 65-48, and Hamilton's at the line. He misses his first. Maybe this will make the Melbourne crowd happy. Free cheeseburgers. Yeah, they've been a bit of a slow start to the year, but they're starting to come good. Free cheeseburgers. There it is. Melbourne crowd is up and about. Upbeat is the code. Chris Golding for a big three on three-quarter time, but that will remain as it is. 65-48 at three-quarter time. Let's have a look. Tassie, they've got multiple players in double digits. Bryce Hamilton, 16 points, 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal. Tiger Campbell, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. And Josh Bannon, 10 points, 11 rebounds. So he's got the double-double up already, 2 assists. So good numbers there. That's all your leading categories. They also got, we got there 7 team rebounds. So just unattributed rebounds. It's not bad at all. For Melbourne United, just the one player in double digits at the moment. 10 points for Tyson Walker, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Then we've got Jesse Edwards, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Milton Doyle, 7 points. Finn Delaney, 7 points. Dash Daniels, 6 points. He's 2 from 3 from three-point range, Dash Daniels. Tasmania just 2 from 12 for their three-pointers. Bryce Hamilton's made all of them. He's 2 from 5. We did say that their shooting had come back to the field, and it has done. Melbourne now up to 50%. Tassie actually shooting worse at 45%. But I'm just trying to work this out. They've got 51. Oh, no, that's incorrect. I read the wrong number. That's 50 field goal attempts for Melbourne United. 28% shooting for Melbourne. That is why they are losing. 28% shooting. Bunch of college basketball and heaps of the players go overseas to China and Oz. Yeah, 100% Nick. You see some guys, and they pop back up sometimes after they've been out of college for a year or two. They've wandered somewhere else. A little bit of hedging. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to overtime, Ken. I don't think this one's going to overtime somehow. You can pick the football. Your dad has you line up his bets. Tell you what, there's some very good and some very bad teams this year in the NFL. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about with football, saying I can't say. You got the battle of the two worst teams coming up, I think. Shell and baskets. Broncos win the bowl. I'm a Chargers man, Pedro. I'm a Chargers man. So there we go. As Hamilton gets another couple. They are running away with this now. The fourth quarter's underway. Yeah, I follow all the sports too, mate. That is what I like. Delaney. Tassie get the stop again. Hamilton and Johnson working together. Tiger Campbell just slowing it up. Chargers, yeah, it was a good win for us against the Cowboys. And the Seahawks win the Super Bowl and going to Super Bowl at the start of the season. Yeah, right. Crazy to think Baltimore were the favourites, right? Made around on San Fran today. Talking the Chargers next game, Pedro. Yeah, you guys got the Chiefs. Hopefully you give them a smacking. Yeah, mate, the Bears are wildly good. And the Patriots come good again. I thought that was supposed to be bad for a few years. My favourite game this week, though, is the Giants and the Raiders. What a pair of rubbish teams they are. As Deng gets a free throw. Oh, he didn't get the second one. Let's cut that back. 68. 5 on the shot clock, and Johnson gets another one. This is absolutely running away. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, Giants and Raiders battling for the worst team in football this week. And Melbourne United will be at the line. Yeah, you're going to play the teams in front of you, though. Tell you what will be good this week, too. Bears and 49ers. Yeah, nice. The Jags next up. They got the Colts. Old Man Rivers. Delaney gets one. Cuts the lead back to 21. Tell you what, Nick, you would have got a nice price if you had taken Tasmania by more than 10. 8:50 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Hashtag gamble responsibly, Nick. Yeah, they have been shocking. As I said, they just look tired. They just look... I don't know what's going on. They're too good of a team to stay this bad. Oh, that hurt. He's landed on the ball. Magnay's gone down with another man on top of him and copped the basketball in the kidney. I'm going to come back, though. I can't believe you didn't pick that, Nick. Come on. Didn't you see that coming? From Tasmania plus 10 into Brisbane plus 10 last night. That would have been huge numbers. Oh, boom. Well, Magnay getting the dunks now. 8:20 on the clock. Yeah, so did I, to be fair. I'm kind of being a little bit facetious, you know. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Melbourne United get 2 back. We seeing any upsets in the next in the college playoffs? I know they're not back for another week and a half, but any outsiders? Obviously, JMU and Tulane got what everyone expected. 3-point shot for Tassie doesn't go. Bodies tangle. There's 3 players on the ground. 2 Melbourne United, 1 Tasmania. Melbourne United go on the attack with 3, and Tyson Walker can't get it to go. Magnay gets the rebound. I don't know enough about the China ball, Omar, unfortunately. Oregon versus Tech will be interesting. Yeah, I agree. Whoever pulled that games will be in the championship against Georgia. You got Georgia going all the way. Tassie get another bucket. Tiger Campbell. And that'll be a timeout for Melbourne here. 74-52, 7:28 on the clock. Yeah, I was trying to look into it a bit more, but I just haven't really pulled it apart enough. I think they're only early in their season too. UCF have been on a rib. Is that the Ducks? I remember when I used to work for the betting company, the Ducks. I used to love some of the team names like the Monkey Kings and the Flying Tigers, the Brave Dragons, and the Ningbo Rockets or something like that. Yeah, the Ducks, the Flying Ducks. Yeah, it's not that crazy a defense, to be fair, Ken. They're shooting at 28%, Melbourne United. How much time left, JD? There's that's 7.5 minutes. Just a little bit of time. Good to have you all joining in, tuning in, and watching along. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you gave us a like on the video. Hit subscribe as well, is always nice. Great to have those of you that are returning and the new ones coming along too. Get involved in the chat. No, welcome guys. Welcome guys. As I said before, I enjoy doing it. Yeah, there's some cool names, Ken. 7:15 on the clock. Krebs is there. A little jumper from the free throw line. Doesn't get it. Now Tassie just happy to slow things down a little. They're not in any rush. They're leading by 22. This is going to be a big result. It's going to drop Melbourne United down to third. They led the ladder until a couple of weeks ago, and now they've dropped all the way down to third. Walker's asking the coach to review. No, he's just asking the referee for a decision going his way. 6:55 on the clock. Yeah, it's actually pretty reasonable value, Nick. You'll have to let me know when you come out, mate, and if we can line it up, we'll go to a Sydney Kings game courtside. I enjoy getting to them when I can fit it around. We're going down in 2 days' time. It won't be courtside, but we'll be right behind the coach's box. So the coach and the bench. And from memory, those ones, can't see what the courtside ones are these days, but the ones behind the coach's box were about just over $200 Aussie. So not crazy. Melbourne United flick it wide. Doyle open three, drains it. There we go. Something for the punters. Melbourne United. Yeah, no, well worth getting to. Yeah, I got to a Melbourne United game the other week at the arena they're playing at tonight against Sydney. Hamilton gets another two. He's just racking them up. That'll take him to, I'm going to say, 18 points. He'll be leading all scorers. Chris Golding just manhandles someone and drains two. They're not going away, Melbourne, but they're not really closing the gap either. Oh, Hamilton with a pinpoint pass to Johnson under the bucket. He just threaded that. How did no one get a hand on that? That was a 15-metre pass. No, Sydney. Sydney's my team. Oh, 3 points. There we go. Bryce Cotton. Milton Doyle. Bryce Cotton's Adelaide. Both superstar outside perimeter shooters. Yeah, Sydney Kings are my team. Nick, the local team here. Used to be a team here in Newcastle where I live, but they sold their license a number of years ago to Singapore, and that only lasted for a couple of years, and then the Singapore team folded. They went from being the Newcastle Falcons to being the Hunter Pirates, because Newcastle's in the Hunter Valley, and then became the Singapore Slingers, a little bit like Seattle, what we were talking about before. The Kings they got Matthew Dellavedova, who's ex-NBA and played for Cleveland. But yeah, we've got Kendrick Davis is back. Xavier Cooks is firing. So Cooks is a former played a handful of games for Washington in the NBL, NBA. So yeah, they've got everyone back on deck now. So they're going pretty well. Chris Golding leaving the arena. I'm not sure what's happening here. Very unsure what happened there. Just going to have a look and see, has he been fouled out? I didn't think he had that many fouls. No. Yeah, that was a result, the way they finished against the 36ers. Kendrick Davis, he was with Adelaide last year, and he is a gun. They've been in good form since the FIBA break, the Aussies. The Aussie Sydney with the Aussies coming back. They did lose their best defender. I don't know if he'll be back for Christmas Day, where they play Illawarra. So that's like the derby game, the local rival. Oh, misdirected pass there, and Edwards picks it off. Milton Doyle. Last touch, flicks it over. At the moment, they are, yeah. I mean, 6 weeks ago, you would have sworn it was Melbourne United. So Sydney started really poorly. Adelaide have come pretty good. Sydney, for mine, best teams at the moment, Sydney just in front of Adelaide. And then probably Southeast Melbourne, Perth/Melbourne/Tassie, all in the same sort of bucket. I don't think there's a big difference between all of them at the moment. Melbourne obviously having a shocking night tonight, shooting up to 31%, but yeah, there's 4:59 left. Tassie inbound in the attacking half. Again, if you're just joining us, love it if you get involved in the comments, hit like on the video, hit subscribe, all that sort of fun stuff. Thank you to those of you who've already done it. I know quite a few of you are returning friends. It'll stop at some point. They won't miss the play-ins, but they're maybe going to cost themselves a play-off spot. So in the NBL this year, it's been the same for the last few years. The top 2 sides go straight through to essentially our semi-finals. So we don't have conferences like you do in the NBA, just straight 10-team league. So 1 and 2 both host a semi-final, and 3 through 6 go into what we call the play-in. So 3rd and 4th will play off in a one-off game. Winner of that goes straight into the semi-final against 2nd. 5th and 6th play off. Loser is eliminated. Winner of that game plays the loser of 3rd and 4th for the right to play 1st. Doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense from a point of view, but what I can do for those of you who, as Dan goes the line, if anyone is interested, let's copy that. As they get the free throw there. Dang, 79-60, 4:33 on the clock. Didn't work. Why did that not work? Hey, big bet. Sorry, what did I say about which bit? Oh, missed 3-pointer. I thought Tassie had that there. 4:04 on the clock. And Tiger Campbell, another 2. 21-point lead. This is a hammering. Hey, Phil. Good to have you with us. Not sure what you're referencing with Annie. 3 points. There we go. Melbourne getting one back. Starting to find their range now. It's a little bit too late, though. 3.5 minutes to go. You have to give me some clarification there, Vel and Phil, what we're talking about. Must have missed something. Marshall dancing around on the cusp of the 3-point line. Drives into the paint. Any chance Melbourne wins? I would say it's very slim at this point. We've seen some wild things, but coming back from 18 points down with just over 3 minutes on the clock would be the wildest thing I've seen in the NBL this year, and that would take something. We saw Sydney come back from 13 points down at three-quarter time the other day, but Cotton gets fouled, so he'll go to the line, will he? No. Be an inbound ball. Not in the bonus yet. Yeah, I don't see Melbourne winning from here. Less than 3 minutes now. 2:59 on the clock. 81-63. Milton Doyle checks out. Walker. Looks like they're down Chris Golding as well. Walker thinks about a 3. Swings across. Little mid-range jumper. Edwards gets up for the dunk on the rebound. I haven't. A few of the guys in the chat might have watched a bit of China, but yeah, no, I've just had a look at sort of the standings. Yeah, I don't think we're GoFunding me in the chat here. I'm not sure about that, Phil. Good luck. 8 threes in 30 seconds and not let them score. What are they going to do with the extra 2 minutes 15, Nick? Have a picnic? Come on. 2:48 on the clock. 81-65. McDonald's application. Sounds like a plan. Oh, boom. Johnson for 3. That hurts. Back to 19 points. Now they need 7 threes. Edwards gets a 2. Ball goes back. It was a big 3, Omar. He was a good stride behind the 3-point line. They're just toying with him now. Campbell scores, but they wave the basket away. We're going to come back for a prior foul. That was big from Johnson. Oh, dear. Really want Melbourne to win this now, don't you? Yeah. It's like we're just looking for something more and more wild every game, Nick. We just need to be astounded even more and just be like, oh, remember that time they won by this? Oh, no, someone else did it by this. Campbell with another free throw. He's up to 20 points. Doesn't get his second one. Edwards gets the rebound. Josh Bannon's got 12 rebounds and 10 points. Not a bad day out. As Malith Mashar comes on the court and straight away gets a bucket. Where's he been all night? 85-69. Yeah. You're going to be crying. You know, I don't have $1 to give, unfortunately. Hamilton. No, leaves it short. Coppins is out there now too. They get some points back. It's the 2 just inside the line. 14-point margin. Here they come, Nick. Here they come. Flicked wide. 3 points. Boom. Johnson again. Walker trying to get it done here. Oh, no. Poor pass. Coppins is there. Little pop pass of Daniels. Just a floater from mid-range. Gets 2 back. Oh, they need 5 3-pointers to go to overtime now, Nick. And they've got heaps of time, according to your maths. 45 seconds on the clock. Tasmania in possession. They're just going to do the victory walk from here. Bannon off for Tiger Campbell. Thinks about the 2-pointer from the free throw line. Pops back, lobs it over the top, looking for Bannon, and Bannon's locked up with Daniels. Gets fouled. He'll go to the line. 31.9 seconds on the clock. Oh, boys. Throw the man a bone. Throw the man a bone. Hamilton checks out. 18 points. That'll be his night done. Going to join the homeless shelter next. It's free hot meals. Bannon gets one. Unfortunately for Melbourne United, they've picked up their shooting up to 37.5%, but still nearly 10% worse than Tasmania. Bannon gets another. They lead by 17. 30 seconds to go here. 8-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Bannon decided to kick that out of bounds. It's not a Melbourne ball. 19.7 on the clock. They'll get 14 on the shot clock. So 5.7 differential between shot clock and game clock. So for Melbourne, interesting. They play Brisbane in Brisbane next, and then straight back to Tassie. They actually played Tassie 2 more times in their next 5 games. So these guys will play 3 out of 6, as that one's left well short in the end by Tom Wilson. And then a couple of players collide. The ball goes out of bounds, and 13.2 on the clock. Bannon's gone down on a bit of sweat. Just not with you. Or just not with Melbourne. Yeah. Don't forget, plenty more basketball coming. Again, we won't be back for a few days, but Adelaide, Cairns tomorrow night. Cairns at some $5 odds. And Christmas, Sydney, Christmas Day, our time in Australia. It's Christmas night, Sydney Kings versus Illawarra Hawks. You'll be on Melbourne next game, surely. Or you just going the outsiders still. Oh, there it is, another bucket. And one. Stoddart gets out there, gets some time, and they've got the bench players out there. Oh, no, they're going to say that's full time. No, and one. They've called it. Yeah, I would have thought Cairns into some Illawarra over the next couple of games. Nick, you need to get on the Kings. The Kings are $1.32. So that's right around that money that you like. But that is game day. All done here. Tiger Campbell is the player of the game. 20 points, 6 rebounds and 2 blocks. Good day out for the Tasmanian Tiger. Your man, Nick. Other players, Bryce Hamilton, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. What else we got here? David Johnson, 14 points, no assists, 1 rebound. And Josh Bannon, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. We also had Will Magno, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 10 rebounds, 1 assist. So that's the thing. Always bet what you can afford to lose, gang. There's the best motto I can give you. For Melbourne United, they had 4 players in double digits. Tyson Walker, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists and 2 steals. Finn Delaney, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Jesse Edwards, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Milton Doyle, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. They're the main numbers. Kyle Bowen led the rebounds with 4. Tanner Krebs with 5. But it was all Tasmania today. They get it done. They ensconce themselves a little stronger in 6th position. And Melbourne dropped to 3rd. They are 7-5 in their last 12 games after going 5-7 in their last 12 games after going 9-0 to start the season. Their big games have not gone their way recently, as you guys talked about. But that's going to wrap it for tonight. As I said, won't be back on another live watch along till after Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. I hope you all enjoyed. Good to have you all on board. And yeah, if you haven't already, love it if you hit subscribe. Give it a like. And thank you again. Nice of those who are new for joining us and those who are returning. Great to have you on. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Hagen. Great there. All the others. Ken as well. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, have a good Chrissy. Bring it on. Talk to you soon.